Even in 1995, the notion of a lost civilization was not a new idea. That notion has been around for a very long time. We can take that notion actually back thousands and thousands of years. The most famous example is Plato.
There was a myth that told of a time when there was an advanced civilization on this planet. They were so advanced, they were almost gods. But they became corrupt. They became cruel. And the universe wouldn't put up with that. The universe struck them down.
Unraveling the mysteries of ancient history often feels like detective work, where archaeologists, historians, and scientists assume the role of detectives searching through the sands of time. One of the most captivating tales to emerge from these explorations is the story of Helike, an ancient Greek city that vanished overnight in 373 BC after a devastating earthquake and tsunami. Located in the Peloponnese, Helike was a major cultural and religious hub devoted to Poseidon, the god of the sea and earthquakes. For centuries, this city was mere legend, likened to the mythical Atlantis due to its sudden and mysterious disappearance.
Ooh, archaeologists hate the word Atlantis. Because they've proved that Atlantis could never have existed, even though they have not looked at the parts of the world that need to be looked at.
The quest to locate the lost city of Helike began in earnest during the 19th century, though initial searches yielded no results. These early explorers often relied on speculation rather than scientific method, leading them to dig at various sites across the northern Peloponnese where no evidence of Helike was found.
There's huge areas of the world that have never been looked at by archaeology at all, or if looked at by archaeology, looked at only minimally.
Many were misguided by local legends and misinterpretations of ancient texts, which directed them towards sites that were visually appealing or mythologically significant, but geologically improbable. A more methodical search began in 1998 with the formation of the Helike project, spearheaded by Greek archaeologist Dora Katsonopoulou and American researcher Stephen Soter. This project marked a turning point as it adopted an interdisciplinary approach, integrating archaeology with geology, physics, and other sciences.
Carbon dating can only date organic material. It can't date stone.
The team also benefited from global collaboration, drawing experts from around the world, including seismologists from the University of Patras. Their use of advanced technologies like electrical resistivity and seismic reflection was pivotal. These geophysical surveys allowed the team to detect underground anomalies and patterns indicative of archaeological remains without disturbing the surface. Such non-invasive methods guided the archaeologists to the precise location where Helike was eventually discovered, confirming the effectiveness of combining traditional and modern techniques in archaeology. In addition to employing ground-penetrating radar to explore beneath the surface, every artifact uncovered during the excavations was meticulously documented. The team took photographs, made drawings, and wrote detailed notes about each find and its context. This careful documentation was crucial for piecing together the site's history and understanding the development of Helike over time, highlighting how modern archaeological practices can illuminate ancient civilizations.
Let's call in the archaeologists to make sure that we're not going to wreck any ancient archaeology while we're doing this. A lot of archaeological discoveries are made as a result of that.
The year 2001 marked a significant milestone for the Helike project, as researchers finally unearthed concrete evidence proving the existence of the ancient city. Among the key discoveries were large building foundations, which suggested they were part of residential and possibly public structures due to their size and layout. These foundations were crucial in confirming the site as Helike, perfectly aligning with historical descriptions of the city's architecture. Scattered across the excavation site, archaeologists found numerous pottery shards ranging from simple domestic ware to more elaborate pieces, likely used for religious or ceremonial purposes. This wide array of pottery helped illustrate the daily life and spiritual practices of Helike's inhabitants. Additionally, a variety of other cultural debris was recovered, including tools, coins, and decorative items, which provided deeper insights into the economic and social aspects of life in the classical Greek period. The style and craftsmanship of these artifacts were distinctly classical Greek, aiding in accurately dating the site. Such findings were consistent with other known sites from the same era in Greece, offering a comparative framework for understanding Helike's cultural and historical context. The layout of the ruins also indicated that Helike was a well-planned city with defined zones for residential, commercial, and possibly religious activities. This spatial organization provided valuable clues about urban planning and social organization in ancient Greek cities. The discoveries at Helike not only opened a window into the past, but also spurred further archaeological and historical research in the region. The Helike excavation has been highlighted as a model for archaeological methodology, particularly due to its use of modern technology and meticulous documentation techniques. The success of the project underscored the importance of an interdisciplinary approach, integrating archaeology with other scientific disciplines like geology and environmental science. The search for Helike shares several intriguing parallels with the search for another legendary city, Troy. Both Helike and Troy were long considered to be myths. Troy was immortalized by Homer in the Iliad and was thought to be purely legendary until its rediscovery by Heinrich Schliemann in the 19th century. Schliemann famously used Homer's texts as a guide to locate Troy, much like early searchers of Helike used ancient writings. However, modern searches for both cities have relied on sophisticated archaeological techniques and scientific methods rather than solely on literary sources. The eventual rediscovery of both cities after being lost for millennia changed our understanding of ancient history, demonstrating how modern archaeology bridges the gap between past myths and present reality. One of the first clues that confirmed the archaeological site as the ancient city of Helike was the discovery of bronze coins dating from the 4th century BC. These coins, which featured the image of Poseidon, the sea god notably worshipped in Helike, provided not only spiritual and cultural context, but also helped archaeologists map out significant activity areas and understand the city's economic dynamics before its catastrophic end. As the excavation progressed, the team unearthed multiple cultural layers that revealed the site's long history of habitation and rebuilding. These layers included classical Greek remains as well as Hellenistic and Roman artifacts, showcasing a diverse range of lifestyles and economic conditions over the centuries. The variety of artifacts found, from domestic pottery to luxury goods, illustrated a timeline of prosperity and artistic flourishing, particularly evident in the more elaborate Hellenistic artifacts. The evidence of the catastrophe that struck Helike was also vividly preserved in the geological layers at the site. Seismic layers of sand and debris matched historical accounts of the earthquake and tsunami that led to the city's destruction. Detailed sedimentological studies indicated abrupt changes in grain size and composition typical of tsunami backwash, including marine microfossils and salts that hinted at extensive inundation by seawater. Moreover, the excavation revealed remarkably well-preserved organic remains, such as wooden tools and food remnants, which survived under the anaerobic conditions created by rapid burial under mud and debris.
You want to be pretty sure that the organic material dates from the same time as the megalith and wasn't introduced later.
This lack of oxygen significantly slowed decay processes, providing a rare and invaluable glimpse into the daily lives of the people of Helike. Analyzing these organic materials has shed light on the Helikians' diet, agriculture, and domestic technologies. For example, carbonized seeds and grain residues have revealed the types of crops that were cultivated, while preserved wooden implements have offered clues about the craftsmanship and household activities of that era. Through meticulous excavation and careful analysis, the project has peeled back the layers of time, providing a detailed picture of life in Helike before its sudden destruction and a better understanding of the ancient disaster that buried it. The catastrophic disappearance of Helike in 373 BC offers a fascinating real-world counterpart to the legendary story of Atlantis, the mythical island described by Plato as sinking into the sea overnight due to divine retribution. These two stories of sudden destruction provide deep insights into the ancient civilizations and the ways in which they are remembered in myth and history. Helike was a real city-state located on the Peloponnesian peninsula of Greece, well known as a prosperous center dedicated to Poseidon. It was tragically destroyed overnight by an earthquake and tsunami, completely erased from the map until its rediscovery in 2001. In contrast, Atlantis is described in Plato's Timaeus and Critias as an advanced civilization with a powerful empire that was lost to the ocean as a form of divine punishment for its hubris. Unlike Helike, the existence and exact location of Atlantis remain subjects of speculation and debate, with theories placing it anywhere from the Mediterranean Sea to the Caribbean. This enduring mystery adds to the allure of the Atlantis story. Both Helike and Atlantis were said to have suffered sudden catastrophes. Helike's downfall was confirmed by geological evidence pointing to natural disasters, while the destruction of Atlantis is known only through Plato's philosophical allegory. The stories of these cities highlight the impact of natural disasters on civilizations and serve as moral and philosophical cautionary tales about the potential consequences of defying the gods or engaging in morally corrupt behaviors. While Helike's story is backed by historical records and archaeological findings, Atlantis is often seen as a mythological symbol used by Plato to discuss philosophical theories. The search for Helike has encouraged new research in archaeology, geology, and disaster studies, providing valuable insights into ancient urban planning and disaster management.
We're talking about something that happened between 12,800 and 11,600 years ago. There's no doubt, I don't think anybody could seriously dispute that the episode called the Younger Dryas was a global cataclysm on an enormous scale, and that it led to the extinction of the megafauna, all the megafauna of the Ice Age, all those iconic animals, the mammoths, the mastodons, the giant sloths, the woolly rhinos.
Imagine a world before our own, inhabited by advanced antediluvian civilizations that vanished beneath the waves of a cataclysmic flood. Did these pre-flood societies possess knowledge far beyond our current understanding? Were they perhaps genetically distinct beings, giants who walked the earth as ancient texts suggest? Today, as we stand before colossal megalithic structures, inexplicable with modern engineering knowledge, we must ask ourselves, what secrets did these early civilizations hold? Join us as we delve into the mysteries of these lost worlds, exploring the possibility that our ancestors were not just like us, but were part of a much grander and more mystifying past. When we hear antediluvian, we often think of a period steeped in myth and legend, predating the biblical flood described in Genesis. This term not only captures the essence of ancient pre-flood times, but also conjures images of lost civilizations shrouded in mystery and advanced beyond our comprehension. Among these, the story of Atlantis stands out as a captivating example, often linked with technological marvels that seem almost otherworldly today. The Atlantis connection is particularly intriguing. This fabled city, first described by Plato in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, is said to have been a powerhouse of technological sophistication with capabilities like flying machines and energy crystals. These Vimanas, as referred to in ancient Indian texts, hint at a technological kinship with Atlantis, whose advanced technology purportedly sank with the city into the ocean depths, leaving behind only the echoes of its existence in various global myths. Plato's Atlantis, a narrative crafted around 360 BC to discuss his ideals on statecraft and morality, was portrayed as an island nation beyond the Pillars of Hercules that met its doom overnight following a catastrophic disaster. Plato's account suggests that Atlantis was not just any civilization, but a dominant naval power that had conquered parts of Western Europe and Africa nearly 9,000 years before his own time, which places Atlantis firmly in the realm of the antediluvian. The city's opulence and technological advancements were extraordinary. Atlantis boasted grand palaces and temples constructed from a unique blend of red, white, and black stone, and featured sophisticated water management systems that would have been revolutionary at the time. This blend of wealth, resource management, and architectural ingenuity indicates a society that was far ahead of its contemporaries. Moreover, Atlantis's influence was not confined to its immediate geography. It established colonies and exerted cultural and political influence over distant regions, including Egypt and potentially even the Americas. This suggests a widespread dissemination of Atlantean knowledge in astronomy, mathematics, and engineering, evidenced by the architectural and technological similarities observed across these regions. This notion of a shared source of ancient knowledge is supported by similar flood stories and legends of advanced civilizations in cultures worldwide. from the Sumerian tales of Dilmun to the Hindu legends of Dvaraka. These stories, echoing the catastrophic end of mighty civilizations, could very well be distant memories of real events linked to a common advanced progenitor civilization like Atlantis. Archaeological theories and speculations continue to abound, with some pointing to the Rishat structure in Mauritania, also known as the Eye of the Sahara, as a possible location for Atlantis, given its distinct concentric rings and proximity to the Atlantic. Others believe the sudden demise of the advanced Minoan civilization due to volcanic activity might have inspired the Atlantis story, creating a bridge between legend and historical facts. The leap from discussing Atlantis's potential real-world connections brings us to some fascinating comparisons with known ancient civilizations, particularly ancient Egypt and the Minoan civilization of Crete. When we examine the purported technological capabilities of antediluvian civilizations and compare them with those of ancient Egypt, the contrast is quite revealing. Ancient Egypt, with its iconic pyramids, sophisticated irrigation systems, and complex hieroglyphics, indeed showcases a high level of technological achievement. Yet if we consider the lore surrounding antediluvian societies, these were groups said to have constructed even larger and more precise pyramids and structures. The precision with which the Egyptian pyramids were built, aligning perfectly with specific celestial bodies, could suggest that their knowledge might have been influenced or even inherited from these earlier, more advanced civilizations. Another intriguing comparison can be made between the story of Atlantis and the actual history of the Minoan civilization on Crete. Both civilizations are noted for their architectural and technological sophistication. The Minoans, for instance, constructed multi-story palaces at Knossos, complete with advanced plumbing systems and vibrant frescoes that speak to a highly sophisticated society for their time. In terms of catastrophic endings, both Atlantis and the Minoan civilization share tales of sudden destruction. Atlantis is said to have disappeared beneath the waves overnight, while the Minoans faced a rapid decline following the massive volcanic eruption on the nearby island of Thera, now known as Santorini. Additionally, the maritime capabilities of both civilizations are noteworthy. The Minoans were a dominant sea power in the Mediterranean, paralleling descriptions of Atlantis's control over the Atlantic with its formidable navy. These comparisons do more than highlight historical and archaeological parallels. They also suggest that the stories of Atlantis might have been influenced by real events that were then mythologized over the ages. The narrative of Atlantis, as crafted by Plato, may well have drawn from actual societal collapses like that of the Minoans, blending history with philosophical allegory to discuss broader human themes. Such cross-analysis not only enriches our understanding of these ancient civilizations, but also keeps alive the intrigue and speculation about how much truth might lie in the legends of lost worlds and sunken cities. The claim that these civilizations possessed technology and knowledge far beyond their time is not just a staple of ancient mythology, but a topic that continues to fascinate modern researchers. These prehistoric cultures are credited with technological feats that seem almost impossible by today's standards, particularly in areas like engineering, astronomy, and medicine. Take, for example, the engineering marvels attributed to these civilizations. They reportedly had the capability to lift and transport massive stones and align them with astronomical precision. Consider the Great Pyramid of Giza, whose perfect geometric alignments and precision in construction have led some to speculate that the knowledge to build such a structure might have been passed down from an antediluvian civilization. The ability to create such monumental structures, which have stood the test of time, speaks volumes about their engineering prowess. When it comes to astronomical knowledge, these civilizations are said to have been able to predict celestial events with remarkable accuracy. Structures like Stonehenge, with their sophisticated understanding of celestial patterns, serve as evidence of this advanced astronomical knowledge. It's theorized that many such megalithic structures were not just ceremonial spaces, but also served as astronomical observatories, providing these ancient people with insights into the cosmos that rival modern astronomical tools. The medical advancements of antediluvian civilizations are equally fascinating. There are tales of healers who could perform complex surgical procedures, effectively use medicinal plants, and perhaps even manipulate bioenergy. Such capabilities suggest a deep understanding of health and medicine that eluded later civilizations for centuries. The idea that these ancient healers had knowledge of practices and treatments that are only now being understood or rediscovered in modern medicine adds a layer of mystery and sophistication to their capabilities. Lastly, there's the intriguing concept of energy manipulation, where some theories suggest these ancient cultures had mastered forms of energy unknown to us today. This includes using sound waves to move heavy objects, a popular theory that attempts to explain how massive stone structures were constructed, or the harnessing of natural electromagnetic fields for various purposes. The potential that these civilizations had harnessed and used energy in ways that we can barely comprehend today not only adds to their mystique, but also poses questions about what other knowledge was lost in the sands of time. Delving into the myths and scriptures that discuss civilizations before a world-altering catastrophe, particularly the Great Flood, unveils a narrative filled with hints of advanced societies that existed before recorded history. Take, for instance, the Sumerian King List, an ancient manuscript that records the reigns of several kings spanning tens of thousands of years, culminating in the Flood, a pivotal event that reshaped their world. This document hints that these were no ordinary monarchs but beings with extraordinarily long lifespans and capabilities, suggesting that they hailed from civilizations with advanced knowledge and skills. Similarly, ancient Indian scriptures like the Vedas and the Puranas recount tales of prehistoric kingdoms where rulers commanded not just the loyalty of their subjects, but also wielded technologies that seem futuristic even today. They describe vimanas, or flying machines, and advanced weaponry that imply a high level of technological advancement. The Mahabharata tells the story of Manu, who survives a catastrophic flood, paralleling the biblical Noah and his ark, which further underscores the universal theme of cataclysmic floods across various cultures. These flood myths are pervasive, featuring prominently in cultures worldwide. From Utnapishtim in the Epic of Gilgamesh to Nuu in Hawaiian mythology and Deucalion in Greek mythology, these tales often center on a few survivors, forewarned and spared from the disaster that obliterates almost all life. This narrative of destruction and rebirth is a common thread linking diverse cultures and geographies, suggesting a shared human memory of a distant past where civilizations fell to great calamities. Moreover, many of these ancient narratives also talk about giants or beings with lifespans much longer than typical humans, possessing incredible strength and wisdom. These descriptions can be found from the biblical Nephilim to the Norse Jotun and the Greek Titans, often depicted as rulers or warriors with godlike attributes. This has led to fascinating theories, including the possibility that antediluvian civilizations might have had knowledge of genetic manipulation, enhancing their physical and intellectual capacities to levels far beyond what we can imagine. As we thread together these narratives and archaeological evidence, the stories of these ancient, advanced societies not only enrich our understanding of human history, but also continue to captivate our imagination with their mystery and the possibility of lost knowledge waiting to be rediscovered.